Okay, welcome back. So we are on lesson 4, the core activity. Number 1 says gas flows into Alex's tank at a steady rate. Okay, that's key word right there, steady rate. Explain the relationship between the height of the float in Alex's gas tank and the number of gallons in the tank. Okay, so if you have a float in the tank, the more gas that you have in the tank, the higher the float is going to be. So we're going to go ahead and write that out. We're going to write as the height of the float increases, the number of gallons in the tank increase. Okay, and they both increase at a constant rate. Okay, I apologize for this going down here, but whoops. See if I can move it up a little bit. Oh, it's better. Okay. Period. All right, number 2 says, here's a graph modeling the relationships between the height of the float in Alex's tank and the number of gallons of gas in the tank. Okay, what is the y-intercept of this graph? Explain what the y-intercept means in this situation. Okay, so as in our opener, if you follow the function, our y-intercept is where it touches the y-axis. Okay, here's our y-axis. Here is where the function touches the y-axis. It's right in between 1 and 2. It looks like it's exactly in between. So we're going to say 1.5. If I'm going to give this a coordinate name, though, I have to give my x value first. So my x value is 0. My y value is at 1.5. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in as coordinate 0, 1.5. Okay, so when the float is 0 inches in height, we have 1.5 gallons in the tank. Okay, so that's what that means. That's basically, this is our starting point. When there's 0 height, we actually have 1.5 gallons of gas. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in. When the float has a height of 1.5, I'm sorry, of 0, we have 1.5 gallons. Okay, let's look at letter B here. It says use the points 0, 1.5, that's our y-intercept, this point here, and 10, 12. Okay, let's see, 10, 12, that's this point right there. They want us to use this point and this one. Okay, it says then use the slope to build a function rule that represents the relationship between G, the number of gallons in the tank, and H, the height of the float. So remember, M means slope. Okay, for some reason, M means slope. Don't know why, but just remember that M is the slope. I need to put Y2 minus Y1. So here is Y2. Okay, actually, I could probably label that for you. This here is X1. Y1, X2, Y2. Okay, so Y2 goes in the first box here. Okay, this is going to be Y2 minus Y1. I'm going to go ahead and write that up here. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. And so Y2 is 12, so I'm going to go ahead and put 12 in here. Minus whatever Y1 is, which is 1.5. And then here I have the X2. X2 is 10. Minus whatever X1 is. X1 is right here, 0. And then I have 12 minus 1.5. Okay, 12 minus 1.5 ends up being 10.5. Actually, I'll write it over here, 10.5. And on the bottom, 10 minus 0, that's 10. Okay, and so if I divide this out, if you write this out in the calculator, you will end up with 1.05. Okay, you guys can fact check me, you can look this up. You can use your calculator, 10.5, divide that by 10 is 1.05. Okay, so we have our slope. Okay, now this kind of looks like our y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we know our slope, that goes here, which is this, 1.05. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1.05 here. Plus b, which is our y-intercept. So we look for our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is 1.5. Or we can look here. Here's our y-intercept, 1.5. Okay. Explain what the slope means in this situation. Okay, well, up at the top, this was our number of gallons. And this was the height of the float. So we're going to say that for every 1.05 gallons, so what that means is for every inch that it moves, it goes up 1.05. Or there's 1.05 gallons. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and type that out. Let me